Yo, what's going on, everybody? Thanks for stopping by. This is Dwayne Music, or you can call me KB Productions, but either way, thanks for stopping by. Today I'm just gonna talk, chat, to see where it goes. But anyway, anybody that that uses Akai products or anything like that, you have probably heard that stems are now coming to Akai, which is really going to be kind of interesting because you know what? It has become simpler and easier to sample, but now harder to use them because YouTube will copyright strike you like that. And even if you produce music, you gotta get it clear. So it's gonna be kind of interesting to see how that goes. But it's kind of interesting. Like I said, me, I use Serato sample, and it has, where you can separate the stems. But Akai is using it also. They haven't added it yet, but I think they're gonna add it to the software and then eventually the hardware. So someone had asked a question about, do I still use Maschine? Because if you go through my older videos, you see I've used Ableton, Reason, Maschine, and so why I don't use Maschine anymore? And it's not that I don't think Maschine is a good product. I think Maschine is a good product. Matter of fact, there's some features that I wish Akai did as simple as Maschine does, but it's like comparing apples to oranges, really, when you try to compare both the platforms. But the way it kind of started with me in music and getting to Maschine and to Akai is back in early 90s. I had a friend named Gary, and he was doing hip hop music, but he was making his own music. And what he had was Insonic ASR 10. That was one of the first sampling keyboards. You had a limited amount of sample time, so if you had a record or something, you could speed it up and then slow it down, so you could chop and have more sample time. Anyway, so he was using that, and I couldn't afford a keyboard or ASR 10 at that particular time. And let me tell you about that keyboard. Anything you sampled into it came out sounding like 10 times better than what you originally sampled. I don't know what processor they used in that, but it's no joke. So fast forward a few years later, was able to get a loan and got me a keyboard. The first keyboard I got was a Roland XP80, and the reason I got that was because it had a sequencer. You could sequence, I think, 16 tracks, and it came with drums. It came with sounds, strings, horns, bass, synth, you name it. Came with all that. And so I got that keyboard. But little did I know that there was a change coming. And what that change was, software was coming down the pike. And all you needed was a MIDI controller and your computer, and you could produce music. The drawback with me having the Roland XP80 was I like to sing and do R&B and stuff like that, and so I couldn't lay down vocals or anything like that. I think I had a Zoom mixer, hardware mixer. I think it was like 4 tracks or something like that, maybe 8. I can't remember. So, like I said, there was a shift coming in music production. And for me, whenever I thought about hip hop, because I love hip hop too, first thing that would come to my mind is MPC, because around that time you had MPCs, SP1200s, ASR10, and then you had Roland. Roland had a they had a sampling keyboard, and also they had a drum machine that was almost like Akai. RZA used it. I can't remember. It's the V something. I can't remember right offhand. So whenever I thought of hip hop, I thought of the greats: Jay Dilla, Pete Rock, Q-Tip, DJ Premier, DJ Quick, Battle Cat, and so many others. But like I said, there was a shift coming in music production, and that was software. You had Akai that was now ending hardware, and they were going into software. So they had the Renaissance, they had the MPC Studio, and the Renaissance, it looked like an old school MPC. I mean, it kind of looked like the MPC 60, the 3000 had that, the MPC 2000 had that old school look, but it was really just a controller. And so at the time, I couldn't really afford the price tag what they was asking. Then Maschine came out, and people went crazy when Maschine came out. It had pretty much the same capabilities as having an MPC, but it was like software, kind of like the Renaissance. But like I said, it was comparing apple to orange as far as the workflow. So when Maschine came out, I got the MK2. And the reason I got the MK2 was because I think it was like $400 or $500. And so I got that. But what kind of irked me about that was when I got it a little bit later, the MPC Studio came out, which was much bigger. And the MPC Studio was, that baby was beautiful. But I wasn't going to shell out any more money to get that. So what happened next? Another change. MPC, the Akai decided that they want to go back to their grassroots. They want to go back to standalone unit, and the MPC X comes out. I knew when that came out that there was going to be. I knew when that came out that it was going to be some stuff, and it was you had a hardware unit, and you could tether it to your computer and use the software. So you had the best of both worlds. And I knew that Maschine Native Instruments was going to have to step their game up. So what happened? After the MPC Studio, then they came out with the Mark III. Me, when it came out, I loved it. I loved the way it looked, but there was no way I was going to get the Mark III, because I knew coming down the road was going to be a standalone Native Instrument machine, and that's exactly what happened. But the drawback was it did not have the features that the MPC Live and the MPC 1 had. They were more so standalone. You didn't have to have a power cord. They came with a battery. The Live 2 came with a speaker. So at that particular time, I don't have my Roland XP80. I sold it because I was making more music with software, because I had gotten Reason, I think 2.0 at that time, and I had gotten Cubase. So I would make a track in Reason, save it as an audio file, import it into Cubase, and then with Cubase, you could add vocal tracks. So I would lay down vocals. So over a period of time, I had got all kind of drum kits, all kind of loops, all kind of VSTs. I had everything I needed. I didn't really need anything else. Even though in the back of my mind, I really wanted an MPC. I mean, I really wanted an MPC. So fast forward 2003, the USB jack on the back of my MK2 goes bad, keeps going in and out. So I wasn't using Maschine that much, and I had taken a break from music for almost 3 or 4 years, and so I was looking online and I saw MPC Key 61, and I was like, what? You mean to tell me that Akai has a keyboard that's an MPC and it has all the pretty much the same features as the MPC X? I was like, man, do I want to get this? I mean, I really don't need it, because like I said, I can sample and chop with Serato, and I had everything I really needed. I didn't really need anything else. But I say, hey, if there's a time to get one, this is gonna be it. So that's what I did. I went ahead and got the Akai MPC Key 61. When I got it, only thing I knew how to do with this thing was to plug it up. I didn't know the workflow, none of that. But yeah, so that's how I got to the MPC. Now let me put on my headphones. Okay, now the way that I do my sequences, as you can see on the screen there, I have the intro, chorus, verse 1, verse 2, and there's a bridge, and so forth. Because the way R&B music is, you pretty much have a 4-bar intro, then there's a chorus, and then there's verse 1, chorus, verse 2, then maybe a bridge, chorus, then verse 3, and then outro. Whereas with hip hop, you have 16 bars, then you have like an 8-bar hook, and then 16 bars, so forth. So I haven't sequenced this out. I haven't mixed anything, and I haven't finished putting the song together. But I'm just gonna play what I have so far. One thing that I will say that is kind of easier to do with a DAW is when you're going from a verse to a chorus or whatever, it's easy to have the instruments flow into each other. Whereas with sequencing patterns, that you have where it seems like a break or jump in between those different sequences, patterns, and so forth. So that's one of the drawbacks about doing things hardware versus with DAW. Oh, and Akai, if you can, I know we have the undo button, but can you add a redo button? Because sometimes you can undo something too much and then you got to play the whole thing over again because there's no redo function. So a redo function would really be nice. Okay, so I'll tell you, one of the hardest things for me to get used to, and I'm still getting used to it, is programs. Because I had to learn that a program is really a kit or a group of sounds or something like that. Because whenever I do a drum program, I have to think to myself, drum kit. But anyway, so this is the intro. Then it's going to go into the first verse. Should have had that going to the bridge, but we have it come up next. Back into the chorus. And I like this feature where you can just mute particular parts. All right, but yeah, thanks for stopping by and listen to me just talk about, I guess, nothing actually of any importance or anything like that. But yeah, enjoy your day, and be sure like and subscribe, and leave in the comments what was the first, how did you get started, what did you use? Did you start out with hardware? Did you start out with software? What's your favorite DAW? You know, your machine user, Akai, you know. So yeah, y'all have a good day. Peace out. Peace out.